because you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management business owners and their businesses. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. I'm your host, property management growth expert, Jason Hull, the founder and CEO of DoorGrow, along with Sarah Hull, co-owner and COO of DoorGrow. Now, let's get into the show. All right, so we just got back from doing what?
We went to 2 events back to back, which is a little crazy, but we did it. So we went to a mastermind right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And right after that, we went to a big event down in Orlando. It's Funnel Hacking Live. So we were gone for like a whole week.
Yeah, a whole week of travel and events. And how'd you like it?
I loved it. So it was a lot in a short amount of time, especially with the travel. So we did 4 cities in 3 days. So that was kind of crazy. But it was really great. And then it was funny because so we did our mastermind event, and right after that, then we went to Funnel Hacking Live. And on the way to and it, like from both of these events, we were then watching like an online course from Alex Hermosi. So it was just like information overload.
Yeah,
We got so much.
We have a lot of ideas.
We do.
We took a lot of notes. We have a lot of notes, a lot of ideas, and it can be a bit overwhelming. A lot of you probably feel like that when you go to events. You get a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff. And so we talked about how we need, like, when we have some space, because we're getting caught up on all the work that we missed and everybody needing us, we need to block out at least a day or two to really just digest all of the stuff that we got and to prioritize it and figure out where is this going to fit in with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, what are some of the key takeaways that you got that you feel like you are motivated to work on as a result of all the stuff that we just downloaded?
Well, there's so many things. I think if I were to have to choose right now and prioritize, I think probably like building my own personal brand would be on the top of the list. And doing the thing that I hate the most, which is social media. Yay. I hate social media so much. I just hate it. But it's a thing that you've got to do, I guess. So.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I think, make the mistake of trying to build up the business brand on social media, which generally is a lot less effective because people want to interact with people. And most of the people that you follow are not a business, they're a person, right? And so I think that's one of the things I took away too, is I need to really focus on building up my personal brand. You need to focus on building up your personal brand. And those two personal brands combined, if we're focused on a business brand, can feed that, but really people want to connect with people. And so I've been really putting a lot more effort into short form video, cranking out a lot more content so that I can build a bigger and bigger following. And the one thing that really stuck out to me related to that is the importance of consistency and doing a piece of content every single day, rain or shine. And so this is something we're trying to get in place so that we can crank out something every single day.
Every day. So I'm going to go from not doing social media to doing social media every day. It sounds horrible.
Yeah. And
it really does.
I mean, from the first event we went to, one of the things that I took away is I need to go live a lot more often. I need to be really contributing and adding value to our free Facebook group, which if you're a property manager, make sure you're in it, doorgrowclub.com, and just providing value and not being so worried about everything looking perfect. One of our mentors, he's just like driving, he's in a t-shirt, like he just goes live in that group all the time. But then also putting out like nicely branded content on short form videos, something that I took away from the Funnel Hacking Live event that we went to, and putting that out every single day. And they showed these examples, right, of women and men that had done something every single day for a year and how things just started to explode.
Yeah.
Eventually, once the algorithm learned they were going to be there and they had a topic and they were consistent and they started to build an audience, then they started to get featured and then they started to explode.
Hmm.
So,
And then also the other thing too is there are a few examples of this where
mm,
I don't remember which girl it was. Maybe it was Jody. Maybe Jody. I don't remember, but she was saying, well, my brother was going to start this business, and then he started doing social media content, and then he stopped. And I had asked him, like, hey, how are things going? And he's like, ah, yeah, I stopped doing that. And she said, well, what do you mean you stopped? And he's like, no, I didn't. It didn't work. Nothing happened from it. And he had only done it for a very short period of time, so
mm,
he gave up. And I think that's what happens is people give up long before they get results in anything. And it's not just social media. It's
mm,
oftentimes in anything. They're trying to make relationships with investors or with other real estate agents or their neighbor property managers. And they're like, well, it didn't work. I called, I sent 500 emails and I did, 100 calls and it didn't work. Yeah, and then if you quit before you get the results, it's never going to work, right? So you can guarantee failure if you stop.
yeah, I think one of the things I realized is that we grossly underestimate the amount of work that people put into something to achieve success
Mm,
or to get a result. And so, like, we learned this watching one of the Hermosi videos. He was talking about the sample size sometimes is just too small. Like, oh, I did. He was like, I did 300 flyers and I didn't get any calls. He's like 300, and he
yeah,
said, how many did the guy do a day?
5,000.
He's like, I do 5,000 a day. He did 3,000 one time, like in a month,
Mhm.
and he was like, oh, I, this is what I thought was required. It's actually this, and so
Right. So
I,
think about it, like if you're doing 300, if you contact 300 people,
yeah.
did you tap out your market? And the answer to that is probably no. Are there more than 300 investors in your market? I bet there are. Are there more than 300 real estate agents where you are? Unless you're in a tiny little podunk town like I was, you probably are.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's something that really stood out to me is I'm not doing enough. And so the level of work and the level of commitment that some of these entrepreneurs had in their businesses really created some contrast for me. I was like, wow, I'm not doing that. So what did I do? Like, we're back. It was Monday yesterday, and I was like, all right. I got up at like 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and I just worked on connecting and reaching out to 100 people. So I sent out like 100 voice messages to Instagram followers, and then that's my goal, is to just crank out connecting to 100 people every day, and just do this, and that will create some connection, and that will start to build stuff up. And if I put in the reps doing that, and then maybe get some support, I also challenge my team, like, see if you can reach out to 100 people each day. So we'll see if we start to see some results. And I already started having conversations just from the initial outreach. So if I just do that every day, that should have a significant impact on the business, and it compounds over time. And so then I'm also cranking out a lot more videos. Like this morning, I took my daughter to school. On the way back, where I'm not having to listen to Taylor Swift, or I listen to her talk about Taylor Swift and tell me all the like theories and ideas about Taylor Swift.
Like, what's her cat's name?
Right, like all this stuff about Taylor Swift, because she's like a Taylor Swift fanatic. Like, as soon as she's out of the car, I started recording videos while I'm driving. So then I have some I've got my phone. I know how to get home, so like it's recording videos, and I'm just talking about some different things. Hardest thing is sometimes just to think, what should I talk about? So sometimes I'm asking ChatGPT, like, what should I talk about? And generating some prompts. And another thing that I learned about, or that really kind of sunk in a little more effectively, was the idea of having hooks. A lot of people think they have a lead problem or a lead magnet problem or a lead gen problem. And really, what Stephen Larson, a friend of mine, mentioned is you really just have a hook problem. You just don't have a good hook to capture people's attention. In the first 3 to 5 seconds, that hook on a phone call matters, on your marketing matters more than anything else. And so not having a good hook in the beginning can really cause you to lose a lot of money if you're spending money on advertising. So I'm now trying to be more conscious of the hook at the beginning of my videos, and that I'm creating, and being more effective at creating hooks that capture attention or that are a pattern interrupt to get people to pay attention. Because if I don't do that, it doesn't matter how good the content is. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think one of the other things too is, and this happens every time, we've seen it over and over again with our clients too, is they'll go, especially one of our events, because we jam pack stuff. So they'll come to one of the events and then they're like, yeah, but I have so many great ideas. I don't know how to implement all of it. Or they're like, yeah, but I don't know if my team will go for that. Like, I want to do that, but like, I just don't know if my team is going to go for that. And I think this is really, it's really common when someone goes to an event and they were there, so they had that experience. They saw everything, they experienced it all. Like, it sunk in, it hit them, and they're like, oh yeah, like, it's super clear to me why we have to do this. And then they want to come back and they want to change things in the business, and their team didn't have that same experience.
Yeah.
So their team wasn't at the event. Their team is like, hey, we're just holding down the fort while you're out, doing this event. And then you come back like a crazy person and you're like, guys, we're going to change the whole business model. And we're going to start doing things like this. And we're going to do things like this instead. And we're going to do all of this. And I got all these great ideas. And here's what we're going to do. And the team is like, what are you talking about? Why? Like, you come in hot like a crazy person. And I think there's kind of a better way to approach it. So one of the things I think that's really helpful is having some sort of strategic planning system. Like, we use Dogra OS, that's our operating system. It's also available for you guys. If you're interested, it's, I think, $97 a month. But it's a really great planning system, so that instead of coming back with like 20,000 ideas and going, yeah, I'm going to implement all of them, like, realistically, you're not. Realistically, they're going to be things that are going to be priority and they take precedence. And then they're going to be things that maybe you never do. And they're going to be things that you want to do, but they're going to be way down the line. And you need to really find a way to like organize all of this stuff and then prioritize, what are we actually going to do right now? Like, what would be the biggest thing that we could do right now to move the business forward? So something like that would help. And having your team involved in that is a really great way to make sure that your team is actually bought in, instead of you coming back and coming like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're changing this, and we're like going to hire these people, and maybe we're going to fire, John over there, and we're going to do, like, then the team is like, whoa, like they feel like railroaded because they didn't have the same experience that you had. So having a meeting, we're going to do this too, having a meeting with your team and just sharing the ideas. And you're not saying, we're going to do this. All you're doing is just sharing the ideas that you learned. And that way it's like, hey guys, I learned this really cool thing and it kind of sparked an idea. I'd like to talk about that and see if it makes sense. Like, what do you guys think about this? And that way you're involving your team in it, instead of just saying, we're going to do this. And they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. We have to keep in mind that people don't like change. Change is scary. It's different. It's like you're getting them outside of their comfort zone and outside of their box. But if they're part of the conversation and they feel like they have input and like their opinion in the whole discussion actually matters and counts for something, they'll be a lot more bought in to whatever ideas you actually decide to implement and move forward with.
Yeah. I think that's really important. It's difficult because we come back from an event and then we pull the pin on a grenade and throw it into the middle of the room with our team. We're like, hey, here's this really exciting thing. And it's exciting for us. But for them, they're like, I already have all this work that I'm expected to do, and you want to like change everything now. And so our team members, they're not entrepreneurs for a reason, right? They want a job that gives them safety and security. They want peace. And we get a kick out of innovating, doing new things, changing stuff a lot of times. And we have this big picture vision, and we're risk takers to start a business. We're cowboys and cowgirls. We're wild, right? And that can really be disruptive to the business if we don't get them gently to buy into the vision. And there's a way to do that, right? We do that through DoorGrow OS and through how we plan here at DoorGrow. So you and I will probably talk about a bunch of ideas. We've already been talking
Oh
a
yeah,
ton about
for
all these
sure.
different ideas that we got and all the things we could implement, all the things that we could do. And then we can figure out what we want to prioritize before we just go bombard the team with everything,
Hmm.
right? And then we have a cadence of planning. So the things that do matter to us, we can start to mix into our cadence of planning. But there's a lot of things that we got from this that you and I can just take action on right away
Yeah, right
without
away.
messing with the team at all. Like
Yep.
it doesn't impact the team in any way. Well, maybe inadvertently, but if I just start creating a whole bunch more videos, right? That's my time. Or I can
Maddie
spend.
will hear this and be like, "Really? It doesn't affect the team?"
She's
Okay,
yeah, I
really?
know. My daughter who does the video editing and social media, she's
I
like,
can't
that
wait for
doesn't
that.
impact me.
She's Maddie. I'm with you.
She'll be editing this episode and saying, right. So
Her face yesterday.
yeah.
You're like, I want to do a short form video every day, and she's like, every day, like every. And she's like, "How soon are we gonna do that?" And he's like, "As soon as possible."
That was kind of a grenade. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was.
a little
So
bit.
yeah. And that may mean you need to build out the team a little bit. Maybe we need additional people. Who knows? But
So I think one of the things too that Aaron pointed out in the first part of our mastermind event that we went to is your team really needs consistency.
yeah.
And your team needs to know that who they're working for is like you're a safe bet. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of jobs out there they can go work for just about anyone. And they're with you. They need to trust you to, of course, change things and move things forward, but do so in a way that doesn't completely disrupt, their sense of safety. So doing things slower than probably we would want to do them is really, really important, right? Because then if you come back and you just, yep, it's a great analogy, just throwing the grenade in, that is not safe. That is not steady. That is not slow. That's like, hey, we went to this event, we were gone for a week, and in the week we decided to change everything about the business. The team's like, what? That means every time that you go to an event, your team is going to be panicked. Your team is going to panic. They're going to go, oh God, they're going somewhere again. Oh crap, now what? And if we have this kind of sense of like impeding doom in the business, then it's not, you can implement all of the ideas or none of the ideas or just one. It won't even matter what you do because your team they need to be bought in and they need to feel safe so that they're on board with actually doing things. However you're going to do them, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have the support of the team and you aren't doing a good job at holding like a good container for them, then you're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, cool. Well, we have an event that's coming up in May, which will be DoorGrow Live. So people have plenty of time to get ready for this. So if you want to be part of an event where you get a bunch of ideas and you can get a grenade to throw at your team, I'm joking, then
don't do that. Don't listen to him.
then make sure you come to our DoorGrow Live event. It really is an awesome event.
But before DoorGrow Live, you like skipped a whole bunch of things. So before DoorGrow Live, we have one more event this year. It will be smaller. So it's not going to be this like big event. For those of you who even attended our Game Changer event, it will be smaller than that. We usually will sell about 8 tickets to an event this style. It's our boardroom event. It will be in November. And then stay tuned for those of you who are watching live right now, because I don't know when this episode will actually drop. But for those of you who are watching live, stay tuned because later this week we're going to launch a contest to win a spot at our boardroom event for free. And we're going to be giving away a whole bunch of other prizes too. So the thing about contests is sometimes there's like one prize and then, maybe there's like 100 people that enter or more and only one person wins. Well, we think that sucks. So we're going to do our contest a little different. We're going to have a whole bunch of winners that win a whole bunch of different prizes. But that's going to be our grand prize.
Why would somebody want to go to boardroom?
Oh my God, because it's amazing. So a boardroom event, we intentionally, again, we keep it small, 8 spots total. And we have the business owners come in and we do like a deep dive session on each of their businesses. So it really functions like if you held like a boardroom. So there's going to be Jason and myself, and then property management entrepreneurs. And what we do is we take about an hour and a half to 2 hours per business, and we deep dive on that business. So any challenges that you're having, we will like dissect those in detail so that we can talk about like what's going on, how are you doing things, what is any part of that working, is any part of that not working, and then we get input from not only Jason and myself but other property management business owners who are also in the room. So the one thing, if somebody is listening to this and you're like, oh, that sounds pretty cool, it is pretty cool, but the one thing that I'm going to require, not ask, require of people is you must be open to both give to the group and receive from the group. Because a lot of times events are set up so that people just go and they receive, right? Like the events that we were just at, Funnel Hacking Live, like we didn't give anything to this group at all. We just sat there in the audience, like, little participants, and we just received. This is a little different because we structure it so that you both give to the group and you receive. So we really want to have everyone give input to everyone else in the room so that it really is like a think tank and it really is like a boardroom. It's a 2-day event. We do it live here in Austin, but we're going to be giving away a spot for free, which is awesome because that's like a $4,000 value.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So if you are a property management entrepreneur and you're wanting to add doors and you're wanting to grow your business and you're wanting to figure out operations because adding doors is starting to get uncomfortable for you, either of those issues, we can help you. Reach out to us at DoorGrow. And until next time, to our mutual growth. Bye, everyone.